So the Bitcoin market, the cryptocurrency market, the Cardano markets, they're all trading a little bit sideways right now. And, some people are happy, some people are mad. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But I saw an interesting article by Suzu of Three Arrows Capital, and he had a very bearish statement. Actually, he came out and he was firing off shots on Twitter. Shots fired about Ethereum and how, the transact. It's like his words, not mine. He said that the founders, they promised everybody the world, and they're saying it's going to be this great thing of the future. But then to use this great gift to mankind, they need to pay a $100 to $1,000 transaction fee every single time they use it. And he was calling it the founder's dilemma. And part of the dilemma was that he said that the founders had become too wealthy to give a damn, quite frankly. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It's yet to be seen. What I do know, though, is there's a lot of ETH that's locked up in their staking mechanism. And that's going to be an interesting transition. As we all well know, some transitions are smoother than others. And it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. I couldn't say thank you more for everybody who staked in the nerd node. I have to always show gratitude. That's part of like my ethos. That's part of my mantra. It's not me bragging. It's just me showing gratitude, because I think showing gratitude in life is just a very important thing for just your own human spiritual goodness. Somebody posted in the comment, I shouldn't even mention this, but I will. They said, you're talking about the nerd node, it's getting a little redundant here. It's like, well, this is what I do. Okay, this is my business. This is the business that I'm running. Like, you wouldn't go tell, Henry Ford to stop talking about all this Ford business. All this Ford talk, it's getting really redundant, Henry. Like, would you tell the Wright brothers, this whole flying thing? Look, this is what I do, okay? I talk crypto, I talk stocks, finance, all that stuff, and being that I am providing a financial instrument to people, I'm going to always talk about that. And I say that with all the politeness and respect to you, sir, but nerd forever. And it's not stopping, and we are not letting off the gas. So, we think we're sitting at like 38 million staked in the nerd node. We're opening up nerd 2. It is going to be a nerd frenzy. That was unnecessary. But did you guys catch the article about the, what's that company, NBER? They did a study talking about Bitcoin and the susceptibility that Bitcoin may have to a 51% attack. Now, a 51% attack is when when they basically gain 51% of the hashing power. They can then control the network. And they were saying in the article that the reason why it could suffer from a 51% attack is because of the level of centralization there is within the wallets. Now, Bitcoin is decentralized, truly, but there's a lot of centralization with the amount of coins in certain wallets. Now, that's normal, I would say. There's always going to be whales, and they're going to be spread out and more diverse, depending on what coin you're in. Some can be egregious. Some of these lower level ones, they're like, I have 90% pre-mined, and then I distribute 10. But I think they said Michael Saylor has 111,000 Bitcoins. Satoshi, if you guys know about the Satoshi wallet, Satoshi has 1 million Bitcoins. Now that's pretty interesting if you think about it, because 1 million Bitcoins, if there only can ever be 21 million Bitcoins, it's a nice little pre-mine, Satoshi. It's believed that those coins in that wallet are the coins in that wallet are never going to move, because if Hal Finney was Satoshi Nakamoto, Hal Finney is gone. I have like, so nobody truly knows who was Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto. It's kind of like the Shakespeare thing. Like, I think it was probably a group of people, a group of guys who made a pact and said, hey, let's do this. And we never should ever reveal the actual real creator of this. And that's one of the theories around Shakespeare. That Shakespeare didn't actually write all of his own plays. And it maybe wasn't even a real person. And that's kind of what I feel about Bitcoin. I think the cypherpunks created their version of digital e-money, and they made it anonymous. They made it anonymous because they feared probably what they were ultimately doing could be potentially letting Pandora out of the box to completely disrupt the entire global banking system. So, and to say that they weren't correct in that, I mean, they wanted to create something that couldn't be shut down so easily. If it was one person or some company, you could just shut it down. You know what I mean? But if it's an anonymous, decentralized computer network all over the world, how do you shut that down? Exactly. The great question. So, what did they say? The Winklevoss twins, they have a gang of crypto too. But I read in that article, it said that the top 1,000 investors in Bitcoin own like the majority of Bitcoin. What do I have here? So there's 1,000 investors own, I think, 3 million Bitcoins. So think about that. That's a lot of whales. And they said also those wallets, like there may be 1,000 investor wallets that have, billions of dollars in them, but a lot of those wallets are owned by, it could be something like Three Arrows Capital. And so it might not even be 1,000. It might be 500, that owns, 3 million out of 21 million. So I think call it whaling. I think whaling is, speaking of whaling, look, I got my little whale. Like, I think people want to become whales. Michael Saylor, AKA Michael Satoshi, he has no plan on stopping his Bitcoin accumulation. And I can see why. It's worked out really, really, really well for him. And I don't think the Winklevoss twins do either. They also are major whales in the system. I think that the bigger it gets, though, the cryptocurrency markets in general, whether you're talking Cardano, you're talking AVAX, you're talking Ethereum, Cosmos, Solana, whales will still exist, but the whales will die off. The whales will die off because people will trade and people will sell. I mean, people do buy this stuff to sell it, including myself, even though I'm a diamond hand hodler. And it just means that when they sell it for that, exorbitant profit, well, it's going to cost anybody else who buys in, whether they're rich or they're poor, a lot more money to get in the game. So unless they're sitting on the sideline with, $500 billion okay, well, let's do the math real quick. If Bitcoin is $1.25 trillion market capitalization and there's 3 million, there's 3 million out of 21 million, that's approximately 15%. So 15% of 1.2 trillion is 120 billion, about 180 billion. So you just be chilling with 180 bill, ready to buy back in. No, it'll get dispersed throughout to smaller players, okay? Just sitting back with 180 bill, ready to press the buy button on Binance. Anyway, folks, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you staking with the nerd, baby. Woo! Ric Flair of crypto, they call me. And if I don't see y'all, I'll see y'all on the internet. I'm out.